Why did Tudor women look so flat-chested? If you look at portraits of Tudor queens like Princess Elizabeth or Catherine Parr, you'll probably notice something unusual. Where did their curves go? Almost every fashionable woman from Tudor England seems to have the same straight, flat shape. So, was that simply how women looked back then? Or was something else completely changing the way their bodies appeared? The answer has very little to do with nature and almost everything to do with fashion. During the 1500s, beauty was judged very differently from today. A fashionable woman wasn't expected to have an hourglass figure. Instead, the perfect body was tall, elegant and straight, with a long, smooth torso. That gave the impression of dignity and self-control. To create that look, wealthy women wore a special undergarment called stays, sometimes known as a pair of bodies. Although they were the early ancestors of the Victorian corset, they worked in a completely different way. Rather than pulling the waist tightly inward, Tudor stays were designed to support the body and gently flatten the front of the torso. The result was a smooth, structured silhouette that matched the fashion of the time. You can see this clearly in portraits of the young Princess Elizabeth. Even though she was still growing, her clothing already followed the fashionable Tudor shape. That same style appears again and again in portraits of noble women across England. One remarkable example has even survived. After Queen Elizabeth I died, craftsmen created a funeral effigy using clothing shaped to her body. Her surviving stays show exactly how this fashionable silhouette was achieved. Instead of creating dramatic curves, they helped produce the long, elegant lines that Tudor society admired. The outer gowns were carefully designed to work with those stays. Rich fabrics, stiff bodices, and beautifully embroidered sleeves all helped complete the look. Some women left the upper part of the gown open to reveal a delicate linen chemise, while others preferred a more covered neckline. But whichever style they chose, the fashionable shape underneath stayed almost exactly the same. That is why portraits of women like Catherine Parr, Princess Elizabeth, and many other Tudor ladies often look surprisingly similar. It wasn't because they all had the same body, it was because they were all following the same fashion. Today, we often think fashion changes only our clothes, but history reminds us that fashion has always changed the way people wanted their bodies to appear. The Tudor idea wasn't about creating curves, it was about creating balance, elegance, and perfect posture. When we look at those portraits today, it's easy to assume we are seeing natural beauty. In reality, we are looking at one of the most carefully designed fashion trends of the 16th century. Sometimes, history isn't hiding behind the face in a portrait, sometimes it's hidden beneath the clothes.